Welcome to the Kinky Connoisseur, where we talk about love, lust, consent, and everything BDSM, kink, and sex. Today will be my first episode of my new series, Sex, Kink, and True Crime. And the first case we will be visiting is the Taylor Schabusiness murder trial. This case has received international notoriety due to the brutality of the murder and how it was committed by an attractive 25-year-old woman against her lover. In what many news outlets had proclaimed a kinky sex encounter gone wrong, a BDSM encounter gone wrong, passion gone wrong, and I completely disagree with this statement. There is nothing about this case that has anything to do with BDSM or kink, because there was nothing consensual about this case. This was not kink. This was murder, the exact opposite of what kink represents. Now, why are news outlets then saying that this is kink gone wrong? It's due to the fact that Taylor Schabusiness murdered her lover, Shad, with a metal dog collar. She brutally strangled him and declared that it was something that they were doing for fun because Shad enjoyed erotic asphyxiation. We will never know for certain whether or not Shad actually enjoyed engaging in erotic asphyxiation, whether it was even his idea in the first place, as Taylor has stated in her defense. Even if Shad wanted to engage in what would be called breath play, which would be constriction of airflow and or blood flow of the throat and neck, would need to have been something that was consciously negotiated so that he could consent. And even if he consented to breath play, doing breath play with a metal dog collar, such as the ones that they have in evidence of Taylor Schabusiness murdering Shad with, these dog collars alone would cause catastrophic harm to someone. These advanced type of dog training collars, often referred to as choke chains, if not used properly on actual dogs, can harm them, let alone harm a person when used incorrectly. A type of device like this would never be used in breath play. This is absolutely something that would cause immense harm. I cannot stress that enough. When you see in kink people have collars around their neck, for example, in pup play or in a master-slave situation, most of the time these collars are a thick leather collar. There's a gap in the collar. It is not tight against the person's throat whatsoever, nor should it be at all. And they are not putting any real tension on that leash or collar at all. Otherwise, the chances of damaging that person's throat increase astronomically. The human throat can collapse very easily when there is pressure placed in the middle of the throat. When someone is engaging in breath play, it is extremely important to never put any kind of pressure in the middle of someone's throat, let alone have them face away from you. In this trial, it is discussed by Taylor's confession that she was facing Chad and he was facing away from her, and he was on all fours while she was strangling him. She was not looking at his face at all. When engaging in any kind of breath play, you would want to look at someone's face. You would want to check in, make sure they are doing okay. Both physically, you are seeing that they are okay. They're not turning purple, they're not turning blue, they can breathe to some extent, and that they are okay and they're able to communicate with you. If they are not, then the scene would need to shut down immediately, and you need to check in and make sure there is not a medical emergency going on. In this case, Taylor confessed to when Chad was rebelling against her advances. He was clearly distraught and clearly in immense pain while she was choking him. She decides to continue to choke him and kill him. I'm sure Chad was experiencing an immense amount of pain, confusion, and betrayal. He had known Taylor since middle school. They had been boyfriend and girlfriend in high school. They were literally childhood sweethearts, high school sweethearts, childhood best friends. And to have someone then decide to kill you like that, I'm sure, I can't even imagine what was running through his mind in his last moments, and that is incredibly tragic. And then for Taylor to desecrate his body in the way that she did after she murdered him. She cut off his head, she cut off his genitalia, she committed sexual assault against a corpse. That was one of the big things that she was convicted of, not just murder, but sexual assault of a corpse. And her just total lack of any kind of respect of Chad. And the fact that she put his head and his genitalia in a bucket and that his poor mother discovered this is just horrifying. Like, that is stranger than fiction. That is something that you would think would come out of a horror movie, but this actually happened. There was no regard for any kind of respect or consent in any way, shape, or form. Therefore, this was not kink. This was murder. We are still waiting on her final sentencing from the judge. Therefore, I will probably do a longer in-depth video on this case after that has happened. Until then, I hope you enjoyed my first introduction to sex, kink, and true crime here on the Kinky Connoisseur. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and please subscribe.